My name is Chester. I'm originally from Atlanta. My grandmother grew ill about 7 or 8 months ago. I called one day and she just said she needed me to come. So I came and I did as much as I could for her. I eventually started working at a car wash, and she eventually passed. After she passed, I eventually moved into a weekly rooming house, and I lost my job. They had to lay a lot of people off, and I'm just grateful that I was able to find a place such as this one to, kind of help me deal with my grandmother's loss, things of that nature. It's been hard, but it's a lot easier when you have people around you that really do care about you.
I lost my job in my apartment, and I just became very, very depressed and suicidal after that. I never imagined anything like that would happen to me, and it did. And I just ended up on the street, and I just was camping in the area, and then I noticed some people drinking coffee out on the porch. So I asked the guys, I was like, well, what can I do to, do you know of any places I can turn to? And they just said, well, you're right here. I mean, it's pretty amazing. It was like I was led here,
Do you need somewhere for tonight, or are you okay for tonight? Sometimes they're in such a mental state till, they can't believe that they're here, that they're homeless. We sometimes have to calm them down and say it's going to get better, don't worry. Look, kick backwards, you just got to go forward. Learn from it and move forward.
If you look at people like they're human beings, you want to help them. You want to make it better for them. A lot of guys in our program have bachelor's degrees, and they've worked. They've had real lives, and something happened in their life, and as a result, they were homeless.
Well, some people are 2 paychecks away from becoming homeless. Homeless don't discriminate. I mean, you could just, become homeless in many ways. And that's one of the things I don't wish on anybody, because it's rough. You don't know where you're going to sleep, where you're going to eat. What are you going to do if you're going to, wake up the next day, especially in the wintertime, because when you get 30 below zero, chances are you ain't going to wake up.
You were at our shelter first, right?
Yes. Being in the shelter was, an experience. First time nobody never really, think that they would wind up in a shelter. I got to give Lakeview, a big pat on the back. Because when I first landed there, didn't know what to expect.
Before people can truly become successful and productive, they need a place to stay. They need a place where they can feel safe, where they feel comfortable, and where they can be themselves. If you're on the streets, that's simply not possible. Trying to hold down a job while riding the trains or sleeping in parks is extremely difficult.
When you actually don't have a roof or a stable place to stay, it's pretty much you don't sleep a lot. And if you do sleep, you find the safest possible place you can that's out of the way, that nobody's going to bother you, or you really have to worry about anybody walking past and, trying to rob you or check into your pockets. It's stressful. It's very, very, very hard to be productive sleeping on the street.
You are the author of your autobiography. And whatever happens on the next page, it will happen because you write it there. My question to them is going to be is what happened to put you sleeping on the floor in the church basement? I really mean to point out to them, this is what's happened. Your situation has come to the point now where you have no place to go and you're sleeping on the floor in the church basement. Not to be critical, but just to point out, this is where you are. This is what's going on. Now let's talk about how you got here, and also what we can do about getting you off that floor and into something more appropriate and hopefully into something permanent and lasting. About 2/3 of the people who live here go to either interim or permanent housing, which means that 2/3 of the people who live here leave here by improving their circumstances.
My name is Coleman. I'm a United States veteran. I got out in 2003. I'm a student right now. I'm going to Harry S. Truman to study for my associates. And I, from time to time, I dabble with music a little bit. I feel like I can feel myself now. As before, when I was homeless, I was kind of numb. My mind drifted. I was worrying about a lot of things, and being with Northside Housing has helped me gravitate back to earth, and I can live again.
These are some of the light bills that we have are for clients. Remember I was telling you some of our supportive housing guys, we pay their light bills. A lot of our government funding has been cut. With the cuts coming from Washington, D.C., we really rely on a lot of individual donations. We need some other source to make up where we're losing the funding from the federal government.
My name is Neil Mueller, and I am the program director. We operate a number of different programs here at the agency. We have a 44-unit permanent supportive housing program that is open to gentlemen with a mental health and substance abuse diagnosis. We also operate our health care program where we have a nurse practitioner on staff who does physical health assessments for a gentleman both in the shelter and in permanent supportive housing. This is the main room where our gentlemen sleep in the evening. They also eat meals out here, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We also do our group activities out here. For example, George Wilson conducts his groups out here. We offer emergency overnight shelter 365 days a year to homeless men ages 18 years of age and older. We also have a unique policy in that we have a no turn away policy in our emergency overnight shelters.
The smallness of the agency is a plus. It gives us a chance to be more effective, and also gives us a chance to get to know our clients as people. They're not just cases.
My plans are just to be productive. I can't hope to be the rich and famous, and I can't hope to be even a middle class, but as long as I can provide for myself and whatever family I may gain within the future, as long as I can provide for myself and my family, that's all that I care about. You need to keep places like this running. It's not a soup kitchen. It's not a hangout place. It's to build you into a productive citizen in society, regardless of how old you are or what problem you may have. And that's important.